Welcome everyone to this week's episode of Unrooted Women's Volleyball Edition. And my guest for this week's show is none other than junior libero on the women's volleyball team here at Menlo College, Lucyanna Herrera. Lucy, thanks so much for joining me on the show.
Thank you for having me today.
You're very welcome. Now, it was once said by head coach Denise Sheldon, and I think this was a couple of years ago as a matter of fact, that you are obsessed with corgi videos on social media. Is this still an obsession? And if so, why is it an obsession? I think I could probably guess why it is because corgis are adorable, but I want to hear your side of it.
Yes, absolutely. I'm still obsessed with them. I don't really even know how it happened, but I don't remember a time in my life like before I was obsessed with them. Like it just happened overnight. And it's not only videos. I mean, videos are great, but like the in-person corgis, like getting to actually like pet them is like my favorite thing. Makes my whole day.
I think corgis are definitely like on the Mount Rushmore of dog types, hands down, and they might take like the prime position on that.
I agree.
As well.
Yeah.
Are you someone who follows like corgi social media pages like on Instagram or something like that?
Like way too many to count actually.
I was going to say, how many do you think you follow?
I'd say at least like 15, like different ones. Like it's excessive, but I mean, it's who I am. I embrace it.
Well, I was going to say, the sad thing is they probably all have more followers than we do.
Oh, yeah, they do.
Which is really sad that dogs
But it's understandable because they're so cute.
But it is, exactly. They are like far more enjoyable and adorable and everything. It's just, they're awesome. And the people who manage the accounts do a pretty good job.
Have you seen Andrea Peter's corgi
absolutely.
on campus? Okay, yeah.
Hers, and then if you remember Katie, who used to live in Pratt down here in right above us where we're actually filming this interview, her corgi Bailey, oh my God.
They brought me Bailey on my birthday freshman year to practice, and that was like my birthday surprise.
Bailey, Katie, I have no idea why you'd be watching this interview, but if you are, I miss Bailey so much, and I need you to come back to California because I miss Bailey maybe more than I miss you and Ricky, but I'm definitely missing Bailey, and I think Lucy is too. So you please come back. Please, we need that. One of the more interesting stats I have found on this year's team is the team's record with you in the lineup and without you in the lineup. The Oaks are 2-3 when you missed a couple of games due to injury. They're 8-2 when you're in the lineup. Clearly, your defense is an asset to this team. You've been one of the better defenders all season long. So my question to you is, how do you do it? How are you such a good defender?
Well, I mean, of course, years of practice and great coaching from Denise, but our main rule in our gym is no ball can hit the floor without some type of effort or like body hitting the floor for it. So I think just like really embracing that mindset and like that rule is something that has really helped me be successful because especially in my position as a libero, that's like my main job to make sure that ball doesn't fall on our side of the court. So I think just that part, and then I've really focused on discipline this last year and just making sure, you know, I get to that line every time to dig the ball and I'm making the same moves every time. And I think just putting a real emphasis on discipline is something that's really helped me out this season.
It seems like it's helped you out and it's really helped the team as a whole. It seems like the Oaks are a much more disciplined team here in 2019. Yeah. The results are showing because you keep on rolling. 2 more GSAC wins this past week against the Arizona schools. I'm not really sure a lot of people saw the Oaks opening up GSAC at 6-1 overall. Yeah. So how are you ladies doing it? What's been the key to your success?
You know, as you know, like we lost a lot of really great players last year and like over half of our team. So we have a completely new team this year. And I think with half of our team being brand new, fresh faces, like we had to really mesh as soon as possible. And I think a lot of other teams in the GSAC also were in that same position. So I think we were able to really mesh quicker than some of these other teams, and that's showing in our play. And I think that's just something we have to keep working on and keep doing team bonding and embracing each other and, you know, working on all of our skills. And I think that was going to help us keep the ball rolling this season.
Yeah, and it seems like all of that has helped you ladies thrive under pressure. Jaden Scott told me that last week, that the Oaks love playing under pressure, and you came from behind to beat OUAZ in 5 sets on Saturday. Why do the Oaks respond so well to playing from behind and playing with their backs against the wall?
I feel like it's 2 things. So like the first thing is we do a lot of pressure intensive drills in practice, and then I think Jagan mentioned that in her Unrooted last week. So like we do drills where we are at 13-13 and we need to get those 2 points to win. And so we're kind of used to that pressure. And the second thing is I think we're really good at recognizing it, because I remember on Saturday against Ottawa, like it was 13-13 in the fifth, and we were in a team huddle, and I just said to the team that, you know, we've been here before. We're more prepared for this than the other team is right now. So let's just do what we know how to do, and let's just finish this game out.
One of the more remarkable things about the Oaks is the ability to win in 5 sets. Last year you had like a third of your matches go 5 sets, and this year you've already had 4. How are you able to do it when you factor in the roster size? Because the Oaks have a very small roster this year, about 9 to 10 girls, and yet when the matches get longer, it seems like the Oaks don't get tired. How do you train for that?
I mean, like you said, I think we're pretty notorious for going to 5 sets. We like to put on a good show for everybody. Yeah. But I think a lot of that is because we do it so often. You know, we're used to doing it, and we know how to conserve our energy throughout the 5 sets. We don't kind of burn out really quickly, and that's also attributed to our amazing sports performance staff. Shout out to Carl and Vic and all of those guys who really train us and work us really hard every day. So we are more prepared for those 5-setters than the other teams are.
It's amazing that teams that are double your size get burned out by the 4th set, and here come the Oaks just plug and right along, and they take the 4th, take the 5th, and the other team doesn't know what hits them.
Right.
It happens, as you said, you're notorious for it, so it happens on a regular basis with this team, but it certainly is exciting to watch. Now this week, biggest test of the year, hands down for the Oaks. You're on the road and you take on 2 ranked teams in Westmont and the Masters. How are you ladies going to try and attack these 2 very dangerous teams?
You know, we've learned that we have to treat every team in this conference the exact same, like not necessarily with our game plan, but just how we play against them. So this conference has proven that anyone can beat anyone on any given day, you know. Like we've gone to 5 sets with the 2 teams that were like in the bottom half of our conference. So I think if we just treat the games this weekend how we treated like our game against Vanguard or some of the other teams that we played really well against, I think we could actually do some damage against them and actually take the W this year.
Yeah, and you beat Masters last season on Senior Day, and you took Westmont to 5 sets the day before that, so certainly it's attainable.
Yeah.
And the Oaks getting their first crack against Westmont and the Masters this weekend in SoCal. All right, Lucy, let's get in the final segment of the show. It's called Brownie Bites. I'm going to ask you 3 off-the-wall questions. Give me your best answers.
Okay.
Question number 1, since you were described as a health nut last week by Jaden Scott, what is your favorite candy?
I really enjoy like gummy candies, specifically the Albanese gummy bears. Have you ever tried those?
I don't think I've had that brand before.
You need to, because like the Haribo gummy bears, like nothing in comparison to these ones. They're so much better. Yeah.
How are they better? Because Haribo, I've always thought is like the gold standard.
No. Those ones are like way smaller and like harder to chew. These ones are a lot bigger and like chewier, and I think they're just so much better. They have them at Target.
They have them at Target. Okay, perfect. And since it is now Halloween candy season, I imagine they're out in full force.
They are, yes.
And if I forget to get any of them, what you need to do is you need to show up in the second semester when you're working our table. You need to bring some of these gummy bears so that we can all enjoy. What's the brand? What is it called?
Albanese.
Albanese.
Yes.
I don't even know how to spell that, so I'll have to get that from you after the show. But okay, I like that. And is that something that satisfies the sweet tooth craving, since apparently nothing else does? Or you don't have a sweet tooth?
I have a small sweet tooth, but I'm definitely more of like a salty person. Like I'd rather have like chips than cookies. But if I do have to indulge in a sweet treat, it's definitely those gummy bears.
I guess that's where most of us are a step behind you, is that I would prefer the sweet and the salty. I go chips and cookies.
Yep.
That's why I'm not an athlete anymore. Question number 2. Which teammate would willingly get buried by a pile of corgis trying to lick her face?
I mean, I feel like the obvious answer is me, but if I couldn't choose me, I think anyone else on the team would enjoy that, except actually for Pam. Pam is actually allergic to dogs, but she still like loves to pet them and would let them like lick her face and stuff. So I would probably say her, because she just loves dogs so much that she doesn't really care like the allergic reaction that she has to them.
I thought she has a dog.
She does.
How does that work?
I think she has to take some type of medicine or something, but like we had a dog come and hang out during our preseason with us, and she let it like play with her and like go on her bed and stuff, and then she has a slight allergic reaction, but I think she thinks it's worth it.
I was going to say, it must totally be worth it then if you're willing to put up with whatever type of reaction that I don't even want to know, but that that's bold, Pamela. That is very bold. Because she was talking about it a couple weeks ago on Unrooted. She was talking about how her dog is like terrible at fetch. Just throws the ball once and then just eats the ball and then never gives it back. But it never occurred to me that she would be allergic to dogs.
She's allergic to a lot of things, actually. Like a lot of types of nuts. So whenever we travel, we have to be really careful with Pam.
That's becoming a fairly common allergen now. Very interesting. I feel like when I was a kid growing up, I didn't really hear of many people who had it. Maybe it's something that you develop over time. I'm not a scientist, so I don't really know. And then question number 3, which teammate is most likely to destroy a perfectly pile of raked leaves?
I mean, I think I have to say Janae. You know, Janae's just kind of notorious for making a good situation and a fun situation out of anything she can. So I think if she saw the perfectly raked pile of leaves, she wouldn't be able to resist herself, like jumping in them and making it a big mess.
Something that would be very difficult to do out here in California, because you'd have to go to the right spot to find that area of fallen leaves, and you're probably having to wait till like November, to be honest, to do it here. I feel like it'd be a little bit more common in Humble. It's one thing I've never done. I've never genuinely...
I don't think I have either.
Yeah, I've never genuinely been in a situation where there are just so many leaves on the ground that you can rake them up and then create this ginormous pile to then leap into and then snap it and put it on the gram, because then it becomes like the classic Instagram-worthy basic post that everybody does in the fall. But
yeah, I feel like there's also typically a lot of bugs in like those piles of leaves, and I don't mess with that. So like I wouldn't probably get anywhere near that. You know what I mean?
Come on.
I don't do bugs. Like I don't.
Well, you don't do bugs, yes, but I mean, there can't be that many in a pile of leaves.
I feel like there would be.
Maybe it depends on how long the pile has been sitting
That's true.
there. If you just finished raking all of the leaves on whatever into a pile, I can't imagine that many bugs will have accumulated unless they were already living on the leaves.
You never know, though, and that's the scary part.
Lucyanna Herrera, the health nut, is not taking any chances whatsoever with bugs. She's only sticking with her amazing gummy bears, Albanese. Haha, I remembered it. Yes, I was worried I was going to forget. Albanese gummy bears, and no pile of leaves for you.
Not for me.
Not for you.
Not for me.
Lucy, thanks for joining me on the show. I appreciate it.
No problem. Thanks for having me
You're
again.
welcome. Folks, the women's volleyball team on the road this weekend. Biggest test of 2019 so far as they take on Westmont College Friday night at 7 o'clock first serve. And then the next day, Saturday, they head up to the Masters University, Santa Clarita, where they'll take on the Mustangs first serve set for 1 o'clock. Both games, results, and the recaps will be found on the Menlo Athletics website, menloathletics.com. We invite you to tune into the next episode of Unrooted Women's Volleyball Edition, when Lucy Herrera will select the next interviewee by me, Brian Brownfield, right here on the show. Until then, we'll see you next time. Take care, everyone.